Welcome back. You're still watching the Daily Debate, and I'm honored to be having with me over the phone tonight on the Daily Debate is Dr. Ahmed Leithy Nassif, the international economic expert. Dr. Ahmed, thank you very much for being with us tonight on the Daily Debate.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Of course, we will be tackling tonight the economic vision of Egypt nowadays, and more specifically the focus on the industrial development here in the country. How do you see the progress of those two fields?
I think we're progressing in a very, very positive way. It is very clearly, the industry has very clearly become a focus of the government. Some time ago, I think we were focusing mostly actually on tourism, but and we kept complaining or kept suffering, if you want, from the very high exchange rates and the lack of foreign currency. When we focus on our own industry, the need for foreign currency will be reduced tremendously, and we will be able to actually avoid importing so many goods and spending so much scarce foreign currency on importations, and we will at the same time create jobs. So the cornerstone for developing our Egyptian economy, the way it is structured, is to encourage industry, mostly manufacturing, and this will literally be our independence, if we want economic independence for the country. So definitely it is the right direction to go. We've seen so many initiatives in the past period since President Sisi came to power.
Yes.
And I think we, in the recent months, these initiatives have been accelerating and almost tackling all sides of manufacturing and industry in different domains. And I think this is the right way to go, definitely.
Yes, Doctor, in your opinion, what are the main sectors that the government has given a priority to or more attention to over the past years, and we will be seeing more attention to those sectors in the future? And why do you think those sectors were given the bigger priority or the first priority?
I think, first of all, to start, let me reverse the question a little bit, because to start with, I think the government is giving, is putting the right priorities right.
Yes.
So if we see what is our focus nowadays, obviously car manufacturing, which was a huge, I don't want to say drainer, but consumer of our foreign currency. I don't have the numbers on top of my head, but definitely we were importing, if I'm not mistaken, for almost a quarter of our imports were into cars mostly. So when we start locally manufacturing cars, obviously, one, we're going to reduce, or at least a very large portion of these importations, especially that we're not just starting cars from scratch. I mean, we're manufacturing, or we start to get reputable companies to manufacture in Egypt. So this is something very plausible. And on the other side, also electronics. And I've seen, for example, it's not a major Korean company manufacturing in Egypt, and they're manufacturing to the world class of their standards of production. And the other day I was actually in the mall, and I was so pleased to see that we have now an Egyptian mobile phone. Yes. The amount of money that were consumed again into things like technology and mobile phones and these sort of things were just amazing. Now that we have Egyptian mobile phones, I'm not very happy with the price though, but that will come with time and as the learning curve accelerates.
Yes.
But to have our own mobile phones, this is a huge leap step in the right direction. So obviously, and this is why I start by saying that the government now has the priorities right. I mean, obviously, it is not about just matchsticks or toothpicks or whatever. But when we go into challenging manufacturing and industries like cars, like electronics and consumable electronics, this is definitely the right thing to do. And I think the government somehow looked at what is the biggest bill we're paying annually, and in terms of importation, and what are the products in there, and we started to tackle this, and this is really the right way to do it. It is not, again, to focus on the very simple products that are labor intensive, that sometimes you get it from mostly Southwest Asia, are much more efficient than us in these productions, but the high price items that are technologically advanced, so to produce a car or to produce a mobile phone, you literally need engineers. It's not just any pair of hands. It's not unskilled labor. On the contrary, you need skilled labor, and that labor skills were also developed while they're doing that. So it is definitely the right thing to do. And we're doing well. We still have a learning curve to go through, but that's normal. I keep saying and repeating the same example. If we had not closed in Nassif for cars, the Nassif company for cars, that was definitely, of course, before President Sisi. I think that was like 25, maybe even 30 years ago. Yes. Today, we would have been in a better position to produce our own cars. Imagine 30 years of learning curves. That would have been tremendous. Unfortunately, somebody took a decision in the past that, let's just close it down. And I don't think this was the right decision. Because, again, this is a country of 110 million people, and it's very normal that we have annual requirements, and that's not going to go away, of cars. And now electric cars, that's again, I think there is a major project with some company, Chinese, if I'm not mistaken, on electric cars, and that's the future. That's the right thing to do. We made a mistake in the past, fine. We turn the page and we move on. But I think the current administration, with the leadership of President Sisi, we are definitely on the right track and going in the right direction.
Yes, and finally, Dr. Ahmed Leithy, Nassif, what about the efforts of the government under the political leadership of President Sisi to be attracting foreign direct investments in the industrial sector? How do you see them in the past decade? How were they? And what about the future, in your opinion?
I think, first of all, I think there is a global shift that it became no secret, or it became the secret that everybody knows, if you want, that governments and countries are competing for investors. So when you want to attract an investor, you're competing with Kazakhstan, you're competing with Morocco, you're competing even with Saudi Arabia sometimes.
Yes.
Everybody's competing to attract the investors. And we have major concepts like developing the Suez Canal zone to become not just, ticketing setup, a ship will pass and they pay you a fee. No, we're developing it to become an industrial and real value added zone.
Dr. Ahmed, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but there is the night prayer time, or the prayer for Al-Isha. So thank you very much, Dr. Ahmed Leithy, Nassif, the international economic expert. Thank you very much for being with us on the Daily Debate for tonight. We will be taking a quick break, so stay tuned.